Yo, what up, Street Talks? There, Kim. All right, so a video. Why I don't doubt myself. So let me just kind of share my thoughts. So first and foremost, what does the word doubt mean? So I studied the etymology, and essentially to doubt more or less means to hesitate or to have two minds about something. So one good thing is I'm single-minded. I'm, not the two-facer. I got one mind, and I'm one-track minded, and I'm reckless, I'm brutish, I don't think too much, I don't censor myself, whatever. And for the most part, I'm a very kind of crude person, and I don't worry about my self-preservation so much, and also I don't really mind too much about the self-preservation of others through the scars that I've had in my life. I know that I'm quite resilient, and other people are resilient too. I think my criticism of today's people's is just way too soft, and I think a little bit of difficulty is kind of bitter medicine, which is actually good for people. So the reason I don't doubt myself is I know that actually the irony is that which is difficult is often a strengthening agent and is actually good for me. So the basic notion is that which threatens to destroy you only makes you stronger. And to know that, humans, we're like the ultimate basketballs. We could bounce back no matter what. And the irony is actually we're anti-fragile. So once you bounce on the ground and you bounce upwards, you actually become much more powerful and resilient after the fact. Which is such a cool, awesome, and empowering thought that, when tragedy happens, you bounce back, you actually become stronger. So for anyone who's recovered after a long injury or illness or whatever knows, generally once you recover, you're actually stronger than you were before. And I kind of don't buy the whole thing that people are like, oh, once you get an injury, you're never 100%. I'm like, yo, no, actually after I recovered, I'm like 120%. Like when I was in college, I tore my rotator cuff, both shoulders. I had issues with my knees and stuff like that, and my ankles, tore some tendon thingies. And then after that happened, like for me to continue training and start powerlifting, I powerlifted 455 pounds, no belt, sumo style. And so at age 32, I'm stronger than I was at age 22. And I squatted 375 or something like that. Before I left, just so I can remember, I squatted 3 plates, a 25, a 5, and a 2.5. So that was my PR for my squat. And also, in the past when I was in college, I kind of tore my rotator cuff trying to do 70-pound dumbbell press. And then now I could churn out 100-pound dumbbell press, no problem. So obviously, humans are anti-fragile. That which threatens to destroy us only makes us stronger. So the reason I don't fear or I'm not so self-doubting is that I know that also philosophically speaking, there's no right or wrong. It's all subjective, and I'm kind of an optimistic nihilist in the sense that I don't think there's any ultimate purpose or reason to life, but that's what makes it so fun and great, is that you can essentially do whatever you want with your life, and that's okay. And yeah, isn't that such a wonderful, empowering thought? And I really do think that in life, those who have survived the life of the hard knocks is probably one of the greatest blessings that you get in life, is that sometimes my mom feels super bad because she's like, oh, I wish I could give you more. But I'm like, no, Mom, actually, having all the difficulties in life was probably the best thing for me, because it kind of gave me the opportunity to find more gratitude and stuff like that, and to essentially become an entrepreneur and to become who I am today. Because even from a young age, I knew that I couldn't depend on my mom or nobody else if I wanted to get the stuff that I wanted to get. So that's what actually, I started to try to make my own money myself, and that's the beginning of my entrepreneurial interest. I started building computers, ordering parts on newegg.com, installing you know, installing stuff for my friends and stuff like that. And so I remember, yeah, the good old days. I would it's actually hilarious too, because like when I used to build these computers, I would totally bootleg copies of Windows. I think at the time, was it Windows XP or something like that? Might have been Windows XP, and you know, selling them to kids in my school and taking the profits and starting my own company that way, or becoming self-employed. And it wasn't even self-employed, I was just trying to make a little bit extra cash on the side. So essentially our notions of becoming a hustler and making money is based on some sort of personal desire or need, and to know that you can't rely or depend on other people. And another thing too is, it seems like a lot of people want to be loved, respected, admired by other people, but I don't know, maybe I'm too much of a psychopath that I don't really care. I mean, obviously like Cindy loves me, and I know a lot of my friends and family love me, and I appreciate that, but I almost don't need it. As long as I love and respect myself, that's all I personally kind of need. And yeah, like the reason also I don't doubt myself is I know that there's no ultimate right or wrong, so to doubt myself doesn't kind of really make sense, because I know my capabilities, I know I'm physically strong, I know I have an elevated mind, I know I studied a lot of philosophy, so there's really nothing about myself that I really doubt. And so now the way I'm living my life is, yeah, at this point life is all upside, no downside. I like to walk, I like to talk, I like to think, I like to teach, I like to innovate, I like to make videos, make beats, audio, cinema, whatever. And I want to essentially become the ultimate artist and the ultimate creative. So right now I consider the greatest artist of all time probably Kanye West, but my aspiration is probably in the next 10 years I want to one-up my best friend Kanye. And yeah, hopefully in the future people will, you know, even jump over Pablo Picasso and stuff like that. And so I guess the goal is for me to, you know, not to worry too much about money and fame and blah blah. It's just for me to be as multivarious as possible, to expand my mind as possible, to be as creative as possible, to be as daring as possible, to keep wondering as a child. And it seems like the goal is for me to become more childlike, because children never doubt themselves. Know that life is short and art is long.